My, how the worm turns, folks. Who's aggressive now? After listening to the poppycock, the balderdash, the propaganda, the disinformation, the misinformation from South Africa's media, from its government executives, from its corporate titans for the past year, ever since President Trump imposed higher tariffs on South Africa, after the end of the AGOA Act and its duty-free access, despite its abusive and aggressive anti-import actions against the United States. South Africa now finds itself in an unusual position of being the aggressor. We hear the nonsense coming from all these people about how aggressive Trump is with his 30% tariffs, and the lies from South Africa's government about how they're negotiating. They don't even have a trade negotiator. They don't have an ambassador. They have nobody in Washington working. Now their claim is they're waiting for the U.S. to respond. Well, you can wait till the rapture. No one's going to respond to you. Your behavior has been abysmal towards the United States. You're palling with terrorist organizations, designated terrorist organizations, naval exercises while people are slaughtered in Iran is abysmal, and it's shocking. But now South Africa, which has accused the U.S. of being aggressive with its tariffs, ignoring the fact that we gave you duty-free access to a marketplace for 25 years. You offered no reciprocity. We still gave you access. You shipped your automobiles, your wine, your metals, your finished goods, your crafts to America for no duty. You got in for free. Meanwhile, you imposed 70% tariffs on our poultry. You put quotas on our poultry imports. You limit the number of vehicles we can ship over there. You impose bans on our pork products. Why? This is not a country that is interested in fair trade, that believes in the rules-based order. You keep talking about the rules-based order, ANC, but you violate it. You violate World Trade Organization rules all the time. And now you're doing exactly what you're accusing Trump of. South Africa is considering imposing tariffs of up to 50% on vehicles from China and India as it moves to protect its automotive industry from a flood of imports. Now, an internal review is being conducted by the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition under Parks Tao to assess potential measures to stop this flood of inbound shipments, which policymakers say are undermining local manufacturing, which it is. But this is protectionist action. Vehicles sourced from China and India, now the world's two largest manufacturing hubs, accounted for 53% and 22% of South Africa's total vehicle imports in 2024. The number of vehicles shipped from China has surged 368% over the past 4-year period. And from India, it's grown 135%. Competition has been fierce as the entry-level segment of the market, with lower price imports compressing margins for domestic producers and driving them out of business. Meanwhile, with hundreds of thousands of Chinese and Indian vehicles invading the South African market, U.S. accounts for just about 5,000 imports a year. So the worm has turned. Now the South African government is obviously the aggressor here. Will the media discuss it in this fashion? Will they accuse Ramaphosa of being aggressive in its foreign policy? Is Ramaphosa at fault here? Or is your ire only reserved for Donald Trump? Let's see what News 24, the Daily Maverick, and other media outlets in South Africa report on this. The reality is that South Africa is a predatory nation when it comes to tariffs, willy-nilly imposing them on countries to protect their domestic industry while decrying the rules-based order not being followed by others. Trump's tariffs on South Africa were warranted, and in fact, it was only 30% is quite generous, given the behavior of South Africa's government towards the United States, its friends, partners, and allies, and their interest. And now the South African government is doing exactly the same thing that its fake media and its lying politicians have been screaming for the past year about Trump. Aggressive, abusive, wrong, unfair. Well, I understand why you want to protect your domestic auto industry, but you're a bunch of hypocrites and frauds, complete frauds, total frauds. You're doing exactly what Trump did. Trump felt the United States being taken advantage of. You feel South African automotive industry is being taken advantage of. And that's your prerogative to feel that way. The numbers would indicate something is amiss. You said tariffs aren't the answer. Yet here you are imposing 50% tariffs on automobiles. Trump only imposed a 25% tariff on imported automobiles. Yeah, protectionism. Bites you in the ass every time, doesn't it? Cheers.